Hello and welcome to United Bloodline. I'm Danny and you just got me today and not my dad, Mike. So hopefully that'll be alright for you. Now we're here to talk all things Manchester United and dig in first of all to that win against Brentford. And then I want to look at the Champions League and a few other things for us going forwards. But we're in the international break, so the players are off playing for their countries and the ones that aren't are over in Carrington, or at least I'm thinking so, training, doing what they need to do. And it allowed Ten Hag to kind of press that reset button and do what he needs to do after quite a few weeks of turbulence. But I want to dive into that game. You know, we won very luckily by a fine margin against Brentford. And I just want to, first of all, apologise if you're watching Scott McTominay, right? And I'll tell you why, and I'm going to openly admit it. When I saw Ten Hag was making the substitution, I turned and I said to my dad, listen, why on earth is he throwing on Scott McTominay? What is he going to do? You know, the guy scores against Cyprus for Scotland. Great. He scores against some other teams or countries that don't really have the talent and the skill. What's he going to do? He comes on, surprises me, gets the 2 goals, wins us the game, and credit to him, showed a bit of fight, shown a bit of heart, shown what it is to be a Manchester United player. But then on the other side, he didn't do that against Bayern Munich. You know, Ten Hag come out and Scott McTominay saying, I've been here since 5 years old. Ten Hag saying he's Man United through and through. Listen, if you were Man United through and through, you would have done better against Bayern Munich. And I'll tell you why, because there's a video and there's a clip, you'll probably find it online from when I watched the game as well. And McTominay gets the ball, loses the ball up near the box for Bayern Munich, loses it and jogs back. And in that meantime, the same player who dispossesses him, I can't remember who it was, and quite a few players within the Bayern Munich team race forwards, get to the box. I can't remember if it led to a goal or not, so don't quote me on that. But McTominay is so off the boil, he's still jogging back into the box after losing the ball. Is that a Manchester United through and through? It's not, right? So if he wants to be Manchester United through and through, show it on the pitch. Just run yourself into the ground and then everything else will come after. And that's what I always say about any player I watch. If they can come off the pitch, and I can also say as a spectator, you know what, maybe he didn't have the best game, but he run himself into the ground, covered the pitch, and if he does nothing else, at least they've done that. But in that case, he didn't. So I just want to call them out on that. But also, yeah, you know, he scored 2 goals, wins us the game. Fantastic. Now, talking about the Brentford game, you've got another mistake by Onana. I don't think it's a mistake signing. You've got to give him time. You look at De Gea when he first came into United. He started so poorly. And so many people were thinking, well, he's not the right fit. Who would have thought then, 8, 9, 10 years later, he would have turned into the player that he did? Like, no one would have thought that. And I remember the turning point for me, he saved a free kick against Chelsea. If you search online, De Gea save against Chelsea, I guarantee it'll be a free kick, and he gets right into the corner and brilliant save. That was a turning point for me. So I think Onana's turning point will come, you know, where he'll have a game where it's just like, wow, you can't beat this guy, and this is why we've bought him. You know, we bought him for his passing and so on, but a goalkeeper is a goalkeeper, and so much in kind of modern football that goes missing. You know, a goalkeeper's job, first of all, is to keep the goal out the back of the net. Then if they can pass the ball from the back, fantastic, right? That's the bonus on top of the job that they should be doing. So it wasn't a great performance from him, and it wasn't a great performance from many of the players, I'll be totally honest. But there was 2 key standout players for me. I want to talk about them. First of all, Diego Dallo. He's showing some huge potential going forwards and great consistency. Like, he feels Man United through and through. He's just committed to the cause. He's given everything. You can see it on the pitch. He was on that right-hand side, and he was the right back, but he was just bombing forward at every opportunity and offering us the width where Bruno Fernandes was kind of pulling himself inside and wasn't stretching that play. So him personally, I thought he was brilliant. Really, really liked his performance. I've liked his performance for a while. He's consistent. He's strong. He's got a great delivery. And Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, I think he said in the interview that he did about Manchester United before he left, about Diego Dallo, about his potential and that he's got a great chance, you know, to be a great player at United, which I completely agree with. Having seen of recent times, I absolutely agree. Even though you look back a year or so ago, or maybe a bit longer, you didn't think there was much of a future for him. So he's done incredibly well. The other one is Rasmus Højlund. What a great player. He's starting to really show it. He's shown glimpses against Arsenal. Then I think the few games after it, he fell off a little bit. He got the 2 goals in the Champions League, almost gets a hat-trick. And he had a good game against Brentford. He was always there or thereabouts, was a great threat for us, great hold-up. And he's only, I believe he's 20 or there or thereabouts, right? Very young. So he could live out the rest of his career at Manchester United easily and become, a real great player for us. So, don't put too much pressure on him. Don't expect too much too soon, right? Yes, Jude Bellingham is doing fantastic over at Real Madrid, but those types of players are very one-off, right? Rasmus Højlund is doing well. Yes, he's not exploded the scene, but he's done incredibly well for what he's done. And also you have to consider the vein of form that United have been in since he's really come in. United have been all over the place, shaky. So it's not like he's come into a stable environment, really. So he played very, very well for me, personally. And the rest of the team were kind of there or thereabouts. They didn't amaze me. There's a few players in there that didn't do too great as well. And I'm not going to say any names because I'm not here to single out, because it's a collective effort. Every player is there and, they're all together. There's 11 players on the pitch. So we were very lucky to kind of steal the game, you could say, 2-1. It wasn't Fergie time, but it was Ten Hag time. So maybe that might be a pattern for us going forwards. Fighting until the end and fighting for the club, the badge, and the manager. The manager. Like, if they don't win that game, the other day against Brentford, it says a lot about their desire to actually want to win the game for the club and the manager. Right? You start to see a bit of a shift. Now, going on to the Champions League, we obviously got beat against Galatasaray. Frustrating. Really, really frustrating. United just, again, weren't there. Score the goals, yes, but then just go and concede goals pretty much instantly on the other side of the pitch. It's just so poor. But there's no consistency in defence. One game you've got Lindelof, you've got Amrabat, then you might have, Maguire, then you've got Martinez, then you also have Varane. Like, it's just swapping and changing because of injuries and other factors. So there's no consistency there, and I think that's a contributing factor as to why we're conceding goals the way that we are. And I have to say it, unfortunately, whether you believe it or not, I think our Champions League campaign is done. I don't think we finish first, or second, for that matter. Because here's how I see it. Bayern Munich, those games we could win, we could lose. But our success in that group stage was never on them games anyway. So we've got Bayern Munich at home, right? Then we have to go to Galatasaray away. That is not easy. That's why we needed to win the game at home. Gain some momentum for that competition, get our first 3 points on the board, get in that second slot and build on from there. To go and lose the game at home against Galatasaray, knowing then you have to go and play them away, it's going to be 10 times harder. You've seen Galatasaray, you've seen the fortress that they build at home. Just the environment and playing in that environment is difficult. The way their fans almost, create a cauldron of noise. It's just intense. So Galatasaray are adapted to that every single week. United have got to go into that environment. Depending how we are coming out the other side, when we actually come to that game, what reign of form we're actually in will dictate possibly. And then we've got an additional home and a away game from there. So there's 6 points that we should really pick up, and then the other 6 points are maybe not, right? But I think the chances are I don't see us qualifying. I hope I'm wrong and I hope I'm mistaken, because I would love for us to get into the round of 16 and just to play knockout football to the highest level again. It's what as a United fan I love nothing more of. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I'm not confident. I think we'll probably find ourselves in third position. Europa League nights on a Thursday, which I don't want. I'd rather us finish fourth. The only thing is, if we find ourselves in Europa, then we've got another route to qualify for Champions League next season. But still, I just don't like Thursday night football. It's not the same. It just doesn't feel the same. Ultimately, level of teams that you're playing isn't always the same either, although we got beat last season quite convincingly when we played away. So, fingers crossed we might turn it around, but we will have to ultimately wait and see. And all I'm hoping now during this break that we have is that Ten Hag can, like I say, press the reset button, have a look and evaluate how things have gone over the past few weeks and why it hasn't worked out. Watch replays, do whatever he needs to do with him and his tactical team and the players that he has available to make the tweaks needed to get us on some sort of consistent, path moving forwards. Because if not, then the pressure's only going to plough back on his shoulders again, and we're going to find ourselves in the same situation that we found ourselves before the Brentford win. Imagine we lose against Brentford, then it becomes a right laughingstock and a mess. So only compiles the pressure on top of Ten Hag, which I don't want. I don't want to see him go, despite of whatever results he gets, because like I've always said, he's not the problem. The problem is way above his head. So by doing anything there, removing him, you're not fixing the problem above him anyway, right? It's like trying to fix a tap, but the problem is not the tap, it's the actual flow of water before it, right? If you've got dirty water coming through the tap, well, you don't fix the tap if the tap is okay. You fix the flow of water because that's what's dirty. And that's what it is at Manchester United. It's not the tap that's dirty, it's everything above it that's flowing in to the tap. Hopefully you like my analogy and it makes sense, right? So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below, share with me your thoughts, let me know where you think United are at the moment, how you think we've played, and how you think we're going to get on moving forwards after the international break. So go ahead, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and I'll see you over on another video.